The federal government on Thursday said it settled for 800 to a dollar exchange rate in the 2024 Appropriation Act after considering the average performance of the naira. It said it avoided basing the foreign exchange benchmark in the 2024 budget on a spot rate to avoid eventualities and uncertainties. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, who spoke with State House correspondent, explained that the federal government had earlier chosen the projected exchange rate of 750 naira to a dollar in the 2024 budget, which the National Assembly raised to 800 naira to the dollar. The minister also said that Tinubu regarded the National Assembly's decision to raise the rate further considering his respect for institutions and democracy. Bagudu also spoke on the level of borrowing to fund the deficit in the 2024 budget, saying there is a significant difference between 2024 borrowing compared to last year's. The former Kebbi State governor said the federal government will operate strictly within the dictates of fiscal responsibility law in the new year, which provide for the Central Bank of Nigeria to lend to the government through its Ways and Means window only 5% of the total budget. The post-mortem subcommittee of the Federal Account Allocation Committee has recommended that the federal government refund the 228 billion naira loan it secured from the non-oil excesses revenue account to finance the 2023 general elections. This information was disclosed in a comprehensive report signed by the subcommittee chairman Kabil Marshall on December 14, 2023. The report scrutinized the inflow into the payment from the non-oil excesses revenue account for the period spanning January 2020 to October 2023. The total amount distributed to the three tiers of government during this period was 1 trillion naira. The report disclosed that the total inflow into the non-oil excess account for the period was 2.6 trillion naira. During a FAC plenary meeting in September 2023, concerns were raised over significant deduction from the non-oil excesses, non-oil excess revenue account, prompting an in-depth investigation. The subcommittee found that the loan for the 2023 general election constituted about 26% of the total deduction made between January 2020 and October 2023. The federal government is set to spend 450 billion naira on power interventions in 2024. This is according to the budget analysis of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company. Under the firm's capital expenditure, 450 billion naira was budgeted for FGN Power Intervention Fund. The government-owned enterprise expenditure intends to spend a total of 452.81 billion naira in 2024. 2.44 billion naira will be spent on personal cost. 2.36 billion naira will be spent on other recurring costs. 580 million naira on general travel and transport. 15 million naira on utilities. 110 million naira on materials and supplies. 210.75 million naira on general maintenance services. 34 million naira on auto services. 60 million naira on fuel and lubricants. 40 million naira on financial charges. 576 million naira on miscellaneous, and 736.51 million naira on supplementary overhead. Most of the firm's spending will be on power intervention funds in the new year. As of May 2022, the federal government's intervention fund to electricity distribution company rose to 2.9 trillion naira. The federal government on Thursday said it will investigate how the non-functioning Ajaokuta Steel Company Limited accrued 33 billion naira in electricity debt, which prompted the Transmission Company of Nigeria to disconnect the company from the national grid. The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Audu, revealed these to the State House correspondent after meeting President Bola Tinubu at the Asura Villa, Abuja on Thursday. On Wednesday, the TCN disconnected ASCL from the national grid as the moribund company failed to clear a debt of 33 billion naira owed to the NBET and service providers. The 33 billion naira comprises 30.85 billion naira for energy and capacity delivered by NBET and 2.22 billion naira owed to service providers. Addressing correspondent, Audu vowed to consider the matter. He marveled at how the company accumulated such debt in electricity consumption when it had not been operating in full capacity. Oil marketers are planning to meet the management of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery in order to ensure the seamless supply and distribution of refined petroleum products to be produced from the $20 billion facility. Dealers under the IG of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria stated that they would soon engage officials of the refinery following plans by Dangote Refinery to start pumping out some refined product this month. The Deputy National President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Zama Mustafa, said the meeting would be held soon. Dangote Petroleum Refinery is set to start producing automotive gas oil, also known as diesel and jet A1 or aviation fuel, in January 2024, while the production of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, was being delayed by the supply of crude oil in installment. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemical Project, a subsidiary of Dangote Industries Limited, is a 650,000 barrel per day crude oil refinery located in Dangote Industries Free Zone, Ibejuleki, Lagos, Nigeria. So far, the facility has received 6 shipments of 1 million barrels each of crude oil and is getting set to start producing refined petroleum products. The Central Bank of Nigeria has dissolved the boards and management of the Union Bank of Nigeria, Keystone Bank, and Polaris Bank over alleged corporate governance infrastructure and non-compliance with regulatory requirements. This came barely 3 weeks after the special investigator on the CBN and related entities, Jim Obaze, submitted its final report to President Bola Tinubu. The sacking of the boards of the banks is reportedly part of the implementation of the report of the special investigator. These were contained in a statement by the Acting Director, Corporate Communications, CBN, CD Hakama, announcing the sacking of the boards of the banks on Wednesday. The central bank also said that the affected banks' alleged infractions varied from regulatory non-compliance, corporate governance failure, disregarding of the condition under which their licenses were granted, and involvement in activities that pose a threat to financial stability, among others. Hence, the Apex Bank said the dissolution of the boards became necessary due to the non-compliance of their banks and their respective boards with the provisions of the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020.